Hey folks, this is Finding Frenchy again. Welcome back to my site. Today I am in West Virginia. Actually, it's kind of a special place that I'm at today. I am in Grafton, West Virginia, which is the same name as my hometown in North Dakota, Grafton, North Dakota. And I've met a lot of great people and been having a good time. But one of the things, when you're traveling nomadic like I am in my SUV, and I shared that on my last video, there's a lot of different things that you have to do outside or not in the convenience of your own home. I showed and shared one, the last one was on shaving. This one is about trimming this thing that can get out of hand in a hurry. And actually, as I'm doing this, I'm going to be using the screen, looking at myself as I film this so that I can see if I'm getting it fairly decent. And in the meantime, I'm going to try to talk a little bit about some of the things that have happened in the past week, if you will, or just some experiences that I've had that have been overall pretty cool. So yeah, stick with this and bear with me on the shaving, and we'll see if we can get something positive out of this today. Look at it all come off. Just shaggy. And if I was at home, not being a nomad, obviously I'd be doing this in front of a mirror in the bathroom. And I brought this trimmer with me because it works so well. But it's like many of the things that we tend to take with us, it needs power. And it doesn't have any batteries, however, it is fully rechargeable. That's where the AC 200 Max power station has been very helpful to me. Now, speaking of that and power, yesterday I found myself at a place called Summersville Lake near Mount Nebo, West Virginia, and I found a free campground. And I knew that my power station didn't have a lot of sunlight the day before, and I didn't carry much over. And I knew come evening time that if I didn't find a plug-in that I could, plug it into and charge it fully, that I might have some issues. Well, I forgot that I had my fridge cooler plugged into my DC outlet. And when I woke up this morning, I saw that I was at 19% on my power station, and nothing was plugged into it, and that's not a lot of power. And all of a sudden my lights, for some reason, this is not allowing me to continue videoing. So I'll do what I can, I'll do my best. Try to get this done so I can chat with you a little more. This is the first time I've ever done it this way, so gosh, if I make some mistakes, I guess I have to bear with it going forward. Gotta get the nose a bit. I also go by the ear a little bit, just in case. You never know. Might have a few stragglers hanging on here and there. Now a little shaping. And you hear that? I just had enough juice to be able to get that much done. And then it falls apart on me. But no fear, it goes back pretty easy. Until the next time. So anyway, I was telling you about my power. My light started flickering, And I thought, well, that can't be good. And sure enough, I left my vehicle and all the doors automatically locked. And I'm at this campground, and yes, there's other people around, but I'm like, oh my key wouldn't work. My FOB wouldn't work to open the doors. And I don't know why, but for some reason, my back door did work, and I was able to get in to the back, and my passenger reach over and open the front. But when I went to start it, nothing. That plug that was for my fridge cooler took my battery down to 0 and clicks, and that was it. And I just walked over to the neighbor, and I did have some cables, and I already had them out, and asked if they would do me the favor of bringing their vehicle over and allow me to boost, and they did. And you'll probably find that the majority of people, especially at campgrounds, they'd be willing to assist you, whatever your needs are, you know, as you and I would do the same for them. This is a community, if you will, that's helping each other out often. And, you know, I like to play my part in that as well. Behind me here, so I'm filming this from a Walmart parking lot in Grafton, West Virginia. And that's my backyard tonight. And let me tell you something about this area. I guess all of West Virginia, it's all mountains. And it's absolutely gorgeous, whether it's lakes, streams, hillsides, where the homes are built, how they're built. And it's the character of the people that's I just find fascinating up here. I mean, one of my goals would be I would love to interview a genuine hillbilly per se, you know, someone that maybe still has relatives, or they themselves have a still out in the woods somewhere. I mean, you know, this is the type of stuff, the romantic stories that you hear growing up, and yeah, I think it would be so cool to do that. But yeah, so what else? You know, I'll share this with you. There's an app out there, it's called Upscale, I think I said that right. It's a gas app, and man, it saves me on average about 9 cents a gallon. And when you're putting on 50 to 100,000 miles like I will be over the next year, that's a substantial savings. So go out and check that out, and, you know, go ahead and say something in the comments if you need more information, and I'll see if I can get you the, matter of fact, I'll send you a link if you ask about it. And here's the cool thing. When you share it with others, you get a penny, and if they sign up and start using it, you get a penny for every gallon that they put in their tank. So it's actually, it pays for itself it doesn't cost you anything, but it pays off handsomely. And what it does is it collects your savings until you want to deposit it into an account, whether that's your debit card, whether it's a Starbucks gift card, and there's multiple other cards that you can choose from. So yeah, you should check that out. Let's see. So I've, you know, today, because of where my tools were and where my battery cables were, I had to remove so much stuff from my SUV just to be able to do that. But I found that it wasn't a bad thing. It wasn't that difficult, and it didn't take that long. You know, someone at the campground this morning, oh, bummer for you. And I was like, you know, no biggie, no worries. I said, the battery's dead. I said, well, jump it and we're good to go. And on that point, I just want to talk a little bit about, you know, things that happen. We have a choice. We can either be angry, upset, frustrated, and the like, or not. So I remember from a Dale Carnegie course one time, he talked about worry specifically, but it applies, I believe, to stress as well. When you encounter those types of situations, ask yourself, what are 3 potential solutions that I could apply towards this predicament or for this issue? And of those 3, identify the best one for you and go with it. leave the worry behind, put the solution to work, and go for it. And that's what I try to do as much as possible. It's not gaining me anything to be upset, to be angry, to be frustrated. It's taken away my energy. And when you're on a trip like this, you need all the energy that you can get. Another thing I will share is that when you're out nomadically like this, obviously there's concerns from time to time that you might have. And my cousin and my daughter both let me know about the Life 360 app. And that allows them to see where I'm at all times. And there's some comfort in knowing that. Boondocking and the like. So I set my vehicle up to where I can close off all the rear windows of the SUV. And I can also do the front and the front driver and passenger, but I choose not to most of the time. Rather, what I did was I had some black velvet velour curtains made from an old photography background that I used to have. The reason why black was so important is because black velvet absorbs light. And therefore, when I do have light in the background, it's not shining through. Whereas some other black fabric or other colored fabrics, the light would still shine through to some degree. With this, I could be standing outside directly in front of my vehicle and not know that anybody's inside of it. So from a privacy perspective, it works very well. But the other reason I do that is because it just looks like it's a normal vehicle parked when you can see from the front that the front and passenger seats are wide open. Now, obviously, you're not going to be wanting to put valuables and things out in the open, to entice people that might walk by. But yeah, so that's another thing. Stay hydrated. I can tell you this much. I've noticed a few times where I'd be, using the restroom and I'll notice the color of my urine is darker. Well, it's indicating that I'm at times dehydrated. So it's very, very important to stay hydrated and stay on the water. Make sure you have plenty of it, not just for yourself, but also for your vehicle, especially when you're driving in hotter temperatures. And that, this one you might get a kick out of. So, when I was at the house doing everyday stuff, my eating habits were, pretty consistent week after week. The types of foods I was eating, pretty consistent week after week. On the road, not so much. You find yourself sometimes being served meals, by people that might host you. You might do the occasional drive-throughs. Sometimes you're doing convenience store food, and other times you're cooking on your cookware, making your own meals. But the point I wanted to make is when I was at home, I was a regular pooper. And every morning after 2 cups of coffee and a bite to eat, I was ready for the number 2. Not so much out here. I'll go 3-4 days sometimes and it's like, oh, come on, please. And so constipation is something that you might have to deal with from time to time. And I know I can laugh and joke about it now, but boy, there have been a couple of moments where, oh my gosh, I hope the bathroom is close by. And then you get there and you can't do a damn thing. And it's like, oh. But I just throw that out there because these are the types of things that might challenge you if you're considering some of the nomadic travel. But that being said, I want to tell you this. If this is something on your bucket list, if this is something you really desire to do, start making plans. You already have the dream about doing it and what you want to do, where you want to see, where you want to stay, all of those things. But most people don't get there because they don't make any plans. They don't start putting money away. They don't start looking at, is there vehicle the right vehicle, or do they want or need something different? Is it one person? Is it two? And the like. But start making those plans. Start putting money away that if you're going to need to. Start looking at the things that you have and you own, and is this something that's going to go in storage, or can you get rid of it and sell it? I found when I left, I had a lot of stuff that I hadn't used in months or even years that I was able to dispose of, and it felt good to do so. I don't feel like anything's holding me back. In my case, I don't have anything in storage. I sold my TVs, furniture, everything, because I wanted to enjoy this fully, and I didn't want to have anything back home that could, entice me to cut what I'm doing short, for the sake of comfort and the like. I just wanted to share that, because if you really want to do it, do it. On the back of my vehicle, I have the words "Dream it!" ! Plan it! ! Do it. And then below that it says, "Have no regrets." We all have the dreams, and unfortunately, too many times the dreams stay up here, and we look through them over and over and over, and we picture us in different scenarios and whatnot. But that's where we stay. I call it the recliner. The recliner dreams. It's when you sit back in the recliner, you're comfortable, and oh, I wish I would have, I could have, I should do this, and then you see yourself doing it. But we don't get out of the chair, and we don't start doing the things that are going to be necessary to make it happen. I'm here to challenge you. I mean, it can be done. I'm proof of that. February 10th of this year, I made the decision to do this. I turned around, I took the seats out of my vehicle, and I said, I'm not turning back. And I started and obviously I'd been putting other things in place, but I put myself in a position to be able to do this. And here I am as of April 4th, I'm on the road, and I'm living out a dream that is 42 years in the making. And that's another story that I'll share at some point, but yeah. So is it a piece of cake all the time? No, but for the most part, it's extremely enjoyable. And it's not just about the places that I get to see and visit. I'll be going through all the lower 48 states and trying to spend a week in each. So I'll see plenty of places, but more importantly for me, and I don't know if you're an introvert or an extrovert might make a difference here, but I love socializing. I love meeting the locals where they're at, finding out about them, their history, their stories. I find that extremely exhilarating, and it's providing me energy to just keep going, whether it's at a laundromat or at a recommended, cool place to eat, or it could be anywhere. Today it was an art gallery that, had just happened to run into a volunteer who was a great conversationalist. And check this out, you find out stuff you don't always, you'd never know otherwise. This lady, I'll just say her name is Shannon. She mentioned to me that her husband played ball with Nick Saban. Now, Nick Saban grew up one county away from here in a small town. In addition to that, her husband was also coached by Nick Saban's dad. And when she shared that story, I realized just how small this world really is. But it also proves a point. It doesn't matter where you're from, who you are, what your socioeconomic background, it doesn't matter. If you have a dream, if you have a passion, and you want to achieve it, you can. It takes a little work, sometimes a lot of work. It takes determination. It takes staying on task, even when you don't feel like it. And unfortunately, most people, they're not going to do it. And they're going to get to that stage in life where they look back and they say, I wish I would have, or I wonder what. Well, I'm not going to wonder anymore. I'm doing it. And ladies and gentlemen, let me just tell you what, I'm having the time of my life. If I could sing, I'd sing this song. I forgot what there's a phrase in there anyway. I'm having the time of my life. And yeah, I wouldn't change this for the world right now. And whether that's where I'm at right now in a Walmart parking lot with that as my backyard, or if I'm going down a highway or a back road, it doesn't matter. I'm having the time of my life. So anyway, thanks for coming on to my site. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. I'll try to address them by my video next Sunday. And yeah, for now, you have a great day and come back to Finding Frenchie. This is Mark. See you later. Bye.